US District Judge Amit Mehta recently passed a judgment against Google. The tech major has been accused of unlawfully leveraging its dominant search engine to stifle competition and innovation. Well, if that's indeed the case, Google has much to worry about its other offerings too, apart from search engine. For instance, Google Maps. Google has become synonymous with maps thanks to the ubiquity of Google Maps mobile app. Google Maps had a global monopoly on mapping services for decades. It has done its best to prevent competition in the mapping industry. But Google Maps is not the tech giant's only offering. So, why the focus on the segment of the business? Because Google's map business in India has come under direct threat of competition within the country. A few weeks ago, Google introduced India specific pricing for developers using the Google Maps platform. The pricing was low enough to kill competition with up to 70% lower costs on most APIs. Later, Google announced a slew of new features on Google Maps to woo Indian users. EV charging station information, flyover callouts, AI driven routing, etc. are expected to keep drivers hooked to Google Maps. But why the price cut and whom does it really hurt? Today, digital maps have become an extremely valuable data with huge commercial potential. From agriculture to mining to doorstep delivery, various industries now use maps as a key business asset. That's why India is witnessing map wars. Geospatial mapping was not always a thriving business in India. Earlier, the government imposed significant restrictions on the mapping industry. Companies had to seek licenses and follow a cumbersome process of pre approvals and permissions. It all changed about 2 years ago when the government notified the National Geospatial Policy. The policy liberalized regulations that applied to acquisition and production of geospatial data and services. It thus enabled Indian private sector firms to work without prior approvals. The policy also takes care of the security risks in the geospatial mapping business. It bars international companies from capturing data in India through satellite based operations. However, Indian entities can continue to do so. Also, foreign companies can use very high accuracy geospatial data only by subscribing to APIs from Indian companies. The geospatial policy thus unlocked tremendous opportunity for Indian startups in e-commerce, delivery, logistics, Internet of Things, banking and financial services and space tech. To understand the cost implications of the mapping business, it is important to know the mapping ecosystem in India. CE Infosystems, the parent company of MapmyIndia, is the first such listed entity in India in the mapping business. The company has been collecting geospatial data in India for about 30 years. MapmyIndia initially built the digital footprint of the available offline maps. Later, it physically surveyed the areas, visiting different parts of the country. In the past 30 years, MapmyIndia has successfully built a repository of more than 2 crore data points, including navigation systems, telematics, and 3D data visualizations. The company claims to have mapped more than 10.8 million distinct locations. It has carried out coverage of more than 2.2 million kilometers of roads, around 7,300 cities at the street level, with home address level data for almost 94 cities and 6 lakh villages. MapmyIndia has almost 80% market share in the automobile navigation system in India, and is a beneficiary of an increasing number of use cases for mapping services arising from the rapid smartphone and mobile internet penetration in India. The reason MapmyIndia thrived despite Google's presence is because Google Maps was more focused on generating advertising revenues. On the other hand, MapmyIndia focused on licensing products to B2B customers. Google's focus on B2C enabled MapmyIndia to penetrate faster into the relatively more niche B2B business. Secondly, in the automotive and mobility space, MapmyIndia's maps can be directly integrated and stored onto the car's infotainment system. Google's steep price cut announcements came in immediately after ride-sharing startup Ola Electric Mobility rolled out Ola Maps. In 2024, after its listing, Ola Electric Mobility became only the second listed Indian entity with exposure to the mapping business. As per Ola Maps, the digital mapping solution was created using proprietary and open source data. This included real-time data of the Ola fleet and the open source government data repositories, OpenStreetMaps. Ola, on its part, had already offered a 1 year free access to all developers to shift to Ola Maps on artificial intelligence driven Crutim platform. Apart from this, it offered rupees 1 billion in free credits. Ola also claimed that existing Google Maps and shifting to its in house navigation system for cab operations had offered a huge boost to its profits. As per the company, the move had reportedly saved the company nearly 1 billion rupees in costs a year. Now, the interesting thing is that until not too long ago, Ola had been using MapmyIndia's license mapping services, that is till 2021. So, MapmyIndia alleges that Ola used this collaboration to build its own maps product and then offer it to other users. It also accused its erstwhile client of breaching the license agreement to create Ola Maps. Just as Ola dismissed Google's sovereignty in the mapping business, Ola Electric has dismissed the copyright claims made by CE Infosys. Intense competition amongst private players in the geospatial mapping business is likely to continue given the vast potential for commercial gains. As per the government, India's geospatial economy is expected to provide employment to more than 1 million people, mainly through private geospatial companies. India's geospatial market is estimated to be worth approximately 277 billion rupees in 2025, rising from 229 billion rupees in 2019. The commercial opportunity in the sector is expected to triple by 2030. Foreign entities like Google risk losing market share as C Infosystems, Ola Mobility, Genesis International, and several startups stand to gain with India centric policy edge. Despite the map wars, C Infosystems is uniquely positioned to take advantage of the B2B demand for maps across industries. Nevertheless, any pricing war could deal a heavy blow to the profitability of the mapping companies. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching.